Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about when someone stands you up. What to do when somebody stands you up. It's a really messed up situation. You didn't deserve to be stood up. It's just messed up people in this world, and there's no excuse for anybody to stand you up and not have excuse behind it. So I feel like I've been down this road plenty of times, and what triggered this conversation was, I've been down this road and what to do, like the best way you can deal with a situation when somebody stands you up. So I've made the flaws in the past of reacting and acting a certain way and acting out when I felt like somebody was standing me up or trying to play me. I do have issues, trust issues now with, like, if someone, like, especially if I'm dating, like if it's a guy and they're like, hey, like, I'm gonna meet you here, I literally have no expectations, like, until they prove to me that they are going to show up. And maybe it's not a healthy way of thinking, but it is for me, because I don't like to have like expectations on certain things and then they don't come through. Maybe just because of what I've been through, I don't know. And then anytime I feel like I do have those expectations, something just goes wrong and I act like a brat and I act mad and I act out in a way that I shouldn't, because I'm better than that. And those are just go down with my inner issues as well. But anyway, so there was a situation before when I was dating one guy, and basically he said we were gonna do this. We were gonna go out to eat. We were gonna go out to eat, and I was really excited of where we were going to go, because it was like in season of what we were going to go and eat. And he basically talked about it. It was his suggestion, it was his idea, and I was like so excited about it. I'm like, yes, 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 I'm gonna go and eat crawfish, blah, blah, blah. And then the day of, it was like, oh, I have errands to run today. Now that's sign number one. It's like, okay, please plan accordingly. Like, that is a sign, warning sign for a guy. Like, if you're not gonna plan accordingly of what we're going to do, then I'm not. It's like, if you're not gonna plan accordingly and put me first, if that's the day that you plan for us to do something, like, why would you tackle on all these other tasks to do? And if something did come up where you had to deal with it, then please be respectable enough to let somebody know. Let them know, like, hey, like, I know we're gonna do this, and just reschedule. Like, the most decency thing for somebody to do is just reschedule. So there was a situation where, he basically was like, oh, I'm not gonna have time to do this, and da 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 da, let's just hang out. And I was so mad. I felt like he was trying to play me. I was so mad. I was like, I went off on him, and like, it was so embarrassing, because he was looking at me like, why are you acting so crazy over this one little thing? But I felt like he was like standing me up in a way. And I kind of regretted acting like that, because you know what, I should just charge it to the game and just, like, you know what, that's who you are. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to waste my time on that. I'm not going to wait. I shouldn't even said anything, because the best revenge is to really not say anything. You could check in and say, hey, are we doing something? And if they try to like pull those cards where they're not really like knowing if it's in the works, then just say, you know what, never mind. Like, we're not going to do anything. When you don't trip about it, then they're going to be like, why is she not tripping about it? Like, what's going on? So I learned from that situation not to react in a certain way with emotion. So that's the first thing. Don't react out of emotion, because it can make you look kind of silly at the end. Number two, but there's a situation where, if somebody says something, they're going to do something with you, and they kind of like stand you up, my best advice is just to do it anyway. Do it anyway. Go take yourself out to eat. If y'all guys were going to go out to, an event, like, invite another friend and keep it moving, or go by yourself. Like, there's nothing wrong with going by yourself. You don't look lame, you don't look foolish, you don't look lonely. And if anybody was to perceive you looking lonely, that's because they're self-projecting that they need people around them to enjoy certain things. So don't feel ashamed to go out and, take yourself out to eat. If you really wanted to go to a restaurant and eat, like, go take yourself out. Go sit at the bar instead of sitting at a table. Sit at the bar, talk to the bartender, and enjoy your meal and enjoy your drinks and treat yourself. Like, and it just shows like a certain independence. It's like, what you won't do for me, I'll do for myself. And that's the best way of just having self-love, self-awareness, reflection of like, you know what, if you're not gonna treat me right, I damn sure know I'm gonna treat myself right, you know? And that is a time to make a decision if you want to talk to this person or not. That is a time to make a decision to see if you want this person in your life. Are they consistent? Are they inconsistent? Are they reliable? Like, these are all qualities leading up to, if you're dating somebody and they're constantly like bailing on you with plans, they are, for one, inconsistent, and number two, they are unreliable, and you don't need that in your life, especially if you're a mom. Like me, I can't deal with that anymore. Like, in the past, I've definitely tried to make excuses for people, but I cannot deal with it. I literally cut people off because of certain things. Like, because when I have a kid, and if my kid has something and my kid want you to be there and you don't show up, like that now mess with my kid, and that's not what we're gonna do. That is not what we're gonna do, and you should not put up with that, and you should not allow your kids to be in that type of environment. So like I said, the best thing to do is, when they respond to you, depending on how they respond, because you know when someone is responding with a BS answer, like, oh, my car messed up and it's gonna take all day to fix it. I had a coworker tell me that, you know, a guy that she was dating is like, oh, I gotta get my oil changed and it's gonna take me all night. And she's like, yeah, I had my oil changed not long ago and it didn't take that long. Like, it literally takes you like no more than 2 hours or hour and a half to get your oil changed. So for someone to hit you with that BS excuse, it's like, that's just, you know when it's BS. And when you know that it's BS, you say, you know what? Don't worry about it. It's good. It's cool. That makes that person think like, oh crap, like, either it's two things. It makes them think like, oh crap, like I'm an idiot, like I messed up. How can I make it up to her? Like, and just kind of like pull back. Like, after that, like pull all the way back. And that is a moment for you to either pull back or cut them off. Like, you're like, you know what? If it was the first time, I would kind of, depending on what their excuse was, and if they reschedule with you, then you can decide then to kind of pull back and let them lead the way and pull the ropes of what's going to happen between you guys. And you don't need to replan. You don't need to ask him, when are we doing this again? You just say, okay, that's fine. Like, you know, do you, like, I'm gonna go and do this. Like, I'm gonna, you know, it's fine. And you go and live your life, and it's up to that person to, like I said, to pull the ropes. And if they don't pull the ropes, if they don't reschedule, then you know what type of person they are, and you need to cut them off. Now, if it's somebody that's genuinely saying that something did happen and they're so sorry and they're excusing themselves, and they actually have the balls enough to come to you and say, like, you know what, like, hey, like, I messed up, like, I overplanned, I did this, but let me make it up to you, like, this day, what is your schedule like, I'll make it up, then that's something to consider. But you also still want to pull back, and you don't want to pressure them to make those plans. You want them, like I said, they have to make up to you, not you making up to them. So just lead the way on that. Now, when you know you need to cut this person off, is they literally don't say anything that whole day, and then they like hit you up the next day or so and just say, hey, what's up, like nothing happened. That is somebody you definitely need to cut off. That is somebody who is playing games. That's somebody who don't take you serious, who don't appreciate your value and your time. Your time is precious. My time, I know my time is precious. I don't play about my time. And if you're going to constantly play with someone's time, then you need to just dip. You need to dip. If you feel like somebody's playing with your time, you need to dip and not talk to them anymore, because they do not value your time. Anybody who values your time is not going to sit here and waste your time. So I say that to say, cut them off if they don't do what the first example was, you know, when they call you and actually tell you, and don't just not say anything. Like, that is the worst thing to do to somebody, is just not say anything. And I've done things in the past where I'm like, well, I'm not gonna say nothing either. And then there's other things where it's like, you know what, I am gonna say, hey, you know, just trying to see I'm gonna make an attempt to call you and text you. I'm not gonna sit here and blow up your phone, but I'm gonna call you and text you and make an attempt. And there's nothing embarrassing about that, to make an attempt to see like what's the plans and what's going on. Because I've definitely been in situations where I would hit a guy up and say, hey, what are we doing? And then they'll say something stupid, and then I just don't text them for the rest of the day, and then they don't say anything either. And then they wake up the next day like, well, why didn't you say anything? And you stopped texting me. And it's like, oh, so that was your excuse that I stopped texting you. So we were supposed to do something, but because I didn't text you when you could have easily called. Okay, so I don't even give them that luxury anymore. Anybody that type of a luxury anymore. I'm gonna make an attempt to call and text you, and after a certain point, I'm gonna be like, okay, I get the point. Like, done. Like, done. So you need to be done with that person. So those are just 2 examples. If you have any other examples of friends, boyfriends, somebody you're dating that has stood you up, like, comment below and tell me what your reaction was and how did you feel about it, and what would your suggestion be. Like, give me like, what was the craziest thing you've done when somebody stood you up, or what is the best thing you feel like you can do when somebody stands you up. All right, guys, I hope this video has helped you. Just take a breather, calm down, don't react. That's #1 rule. Do not react and go off, because at the end, like I said, it's not even worth it. That person is not even worth it, unless it's like a parent, or, you know, unless it's like your child's father or child's mother didn't show up to an event. Then you can kind of feel some type of way, but at the end of the day, that's out of your control of who they are. So hopefully do not feel bad. This does not devalue you as a person. This does not mean that you are not worthy of being taken out. You are not worthy of being loved. This does not mean that you are not worthy of having any type of self-worth or respect. You deserve all of that. That's why I'm giving you this video, and that's why I'm telling you to not trip and just cut their asses off, because anybody who don't, you're going to set the boundaries of giving yourself respect. So like I said, you're going to set the boundaries for yourself, and you're not going to tolerate BS, because if you tolerate it now, then imagine 6 weeks to 3 months down the line when you guys are actually serious, and this really hurts your feelings when they pull this type of stunt on you. So hopefully this video has helped. Comment below, like I said, and don't forget to like and subscribe this video and share with anyone you know who's recently has recently been stood up. Okay, thank you.